My name is Andrew LeBlanc. I am the communications manager at Palatine Library and also this year's ILA marketing forum manager. So this is our lovely Friday roundtable. Happy Friday to everyone. I'm looking forward to the weekend as usual. I hope everyone has got some nice plans for the weekend. This discussion is real informal. We don't have a particular speaker, but we thought the topic could be, kind of rolling with the punches / COVID-19, all the changes and all the things we've been kind of having to deal with, all the, pulling back on the masks and pulling back on that and, all the things that we've had to deal with. And we just wanted to kind of open up the discussion and pretend like we're in a big room around a table and just share with each other kind of some things like, what would you do differently, or something you wish you could have done, any feedback that you've gotten from your patrons, anything that stands out in your mind in relation to how we've had to communicate, change things, programming, services. Even if you want to talk about curbside, I'm okay with that. Even though I feel like that word has been so used for so long, that's a little tiring, right? So anybody feel like they've got something at the top of their mind they want to share?
I'll just say something real quick.
Sure.
We've gotten a lot of feedback about types of programs, and a lot of people say, yes, keep the virtual. And then we have a lot of people that like the in-person. So I think it's just really interesting to hear back from everyone what they like from our COVID response versus how we're getting back to normal.
Right, good point. What library are you from?
Cook Memorial.
Okay.
Should probably put that in my thing.
Yeah, if you can, if you guys might want to put your library on there. But that's an interesting discussion as well. We're thinking about how do we ask our members, our community, what they like, and actually, right, it's in our strategic plan to do a program survey. We don't do a program survey all the time. In fact, it's been quite a long time since we've done anything specifically related to programs. So we are kind of revamping ours. And I think one of the questions is going to be, what do you like? What do you want? Do you want in-person? You want hybrid? Do you want all virtual? All of them? And the danger of that is, I'm sure as you all know, when you ask a survey question, it's, what people think they might do or like. It may not necessarily always be what they will actually do. So, but we have to find a way to get some kind of feedback. So are you thinking about, over at Cook, are you thinking about doing some kind of survey or anything like that?
Well, we're starting a new strategic planning process right now, so I think that's kind of going to be rolled into it. And other than that, I do have a long Word document of all the questions I'm ready to ask people.
Who's done a survey recently? Anybody done a program survey or any kind of, how do you think we're doing survey?
And I was wondering how you send that survey out to people, mail or Facebook, or how do you do that?
It's a good question.
Oh.
We've done email links to SurveyMonkey, or provided on print. You can provide a QR code to the SurveyMonkey. So on our website, we've done that in the past. If we have an email list of people who attend the program, then you can send that list of people a link. Please do this survey. So there's a bunch of different ways. I guess it depends on what your community likes, or at least having a bunch of layers of ways to get the answers. And then the nice thing about SurveyMonkey is all the information is there for you. You don't have to hire someone to type it all into a spreadsheet. I think have everybody here used SurveyMonkey in some form?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just finished a strategic plan a year ago, I think. That was fun doing that in the middle of a pandemic. Our answers were so not like normal, but anyway, we did a combination of a survey, and then we did some focus groups with community groups, like whole, League of Women Voters and those kind of things. And then did one-on-one interviews with patrons that we identified as being from different demographics, teenagers, seniors, adult empty nesters. And then the Survey Monkey went out to all patrons.
So that was related to the strategic plan, not necessarily like, how do you think we're doing during COVID?
We have done those, not as wide of an audience, yeah, but we always use Survey Monkey for those kind of things.
Right. So we are hearing a range of things. I think everybody was kind of nodding. People.
I think like our general feeling has been that we're not big on surveys, only because we think that surveys have to be done really well to get what you want, and we've never felt confident about that. I did put a link in the chat if you're interested. We are hosting a 1 hour workshop, or 1.5 hours actually, I think, in May on community surveys with a professor from Northern Illinois University who comes and does things for us. She's from their NGO nonprofit program, always really highly rated by people who attend her workshops. So you're welcome if you're at all interested in community surveys. What I was going to say about programming, though, in general, is that everybody, of course, was like in person. We want in-person programming. And so far, our attempts at that for adults have not been well attended. The people who kept saying, insisted that they wanted in-person programming, other than our free seed giveaway day, attendance at adult in-person programs has been very light. It is still much more robust for the online programs. Kids programs, on the other hand, are through the roof. We have waiting lists literally for everything. So to me, like, I don't actually need to survey them. I'm getting a really strong sense of what they want right now.
Right, same, it's probably across the board, in Deerfield too. The adult programs, numbers talk, and our for the adult programs, especially things like cooking programs and craft programs where they could get pick up materials ahead, waiting lists every time. And people, especially, maybe you've had this too, they love the cooking programs at home. They follow and do it in their own kitchen. And so the adults in certain discussion groups have liked being online and are continuing online. But yes, and everybody agrees, for the kids, the sooner we get all of them in person, the happier our community will be. But again, it's the numbers. That's pretty clear.
Yep, I agree. Same here, pretty much at Palatine. One thing that I would mention is before COVID, we had kind of a very loose registration time period. Once you got the newsletter in the mail, you could register for any program for what it was 3 months worth of programs. And then once COVID hit and we began to we don't know if this program is going to stay. Are we going to cancel it? Are we going to change it? It's going to be, so we decided that we would have a 2-week registration date. So 2 weeks before the program is when you can register. So that allowed for staff to be able to make a change, even though it was already in the print newsletter. You couldn't sign up for it on our website until a certain date. So that seems to have continued this whole time, and we're not going to get rid of it as of yet. Staff really like that they still can have a little bit of wiggle room if they need to. They can make some changes, and we have seen some less of the, how people sign up and then they don't show. So we have less no-shows, even though our numbers are lower, because not so many people are doing in person. I think the adults definitely do like certain things on Zoom, but then they want to come in to do the crafts or certain things. But we have less no-shows because it's more maybe readily at their mind, and they really know, oh, I've got time for this. So
that's what I was wondering.
Maybe that's something you might want to bring to your programming people. I don't know if people do anything I'm sure it runs the gamut of how you allow people to sign up. And that really mostly is for, it was mostly for adult programs, but now our youth, even our children's programs have kind of liked being able to have that to help them with no shows. So
That's a very interesting point, because we just ran into an issue where we're not getting the numbers for our adult programs, and our adult programmers think it's because the programs aren't on the calendar soon enough, where people can't see it 3, 4, 5 months ahead of time. And so I'm curious how everyone else kind of deals with that. I always think it's quarterly. You put your programs online quarterly, but I'm getting some pushback about that. And I'm curious how other libraries deal with that.
who's got some opinions, some thoughts? Don't
Well,
be
right
shy.
now, Coal City's putting on their like summer reading, getting ready for summer reading. So we're going out to like July at this point in time. But like things like, we know we're doing a blood drive, one in May and one in September. So we're putting that on the calendar. But it just depends on what it is, type of thing too.
I would think that really far in advance, except a blood drive I can understand because person has to sort of plan for that in their day. But like general library programming, 5, 6, that just seems to me like going too far out is a guarantee of no shows. People are just going to forget all about it, and then they'll get a reminder and be like, oh, I signed up for this when, like, I don't know. I mean, I can't manage my personal life that far in advance. But yeah, we generally are more like quarterly or even every couple of months. And I think that that's plenty. The librarians sometimes want to limit registration even more. I'm not a huge fan of that. I feel like if you're on it and you're paying attention and you see some good stuff in our calendar that you haven't even seen in a newsletter yet, go for it. I want you to sign up. I want to grab the person like right at that moment that they discover it, but I don't, I think too far in advance, you might just be setting yourself up for a lot of no-shows.
Yeah, I did hear one negative comment from a person that he wants to, once he gets a newsletter, he wants to be able to sign up for everything. And he's a little annoyed that he has to wait, for the 2 weeks ahead. So, I thought, well, if we hear some more, that's another reason why we'd like to do some kind of survey and ask people some questions and see if we can get some kind of gauge, you know.
And just to go back to what you were talking about with programs, actually our adults are wanting to do in person. So like today we have bingo going on and we usually get like 15, 16 people in for that. We have exercise 3 days a week and we're getting 10 to 15 people in for that. And also they're loving doing crafts. Our adult services person is doing like a hello door sign. And so whatever time, like this month was peeps to get ready for Easter, and people just love it. And the classes fill up right away. So it's kind of fun and they're liking to do now instead of that take and make, doing it in person.
Are you all still limiting attendance or are you full attendance?
Well, I'd say we're full attendance, but that's just how many people that person can handle. So for like the door signs, she's doing 12 people and she'll do 3 different programs for it. And all 3 programs are full.
Got it. I guess I meant capacity, really. If the room capacity allows for 100 people.
Yeah,
our
we're not
staff-
limiting it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's whatever the capacity is because there's no social distancing now on CDC. And so that's what we're going by.
Right. So it feels a little bit like whiplash. We were.
We
Feels
still
like
are
us.
limiting.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Yeah.
As well.
We are too, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, although like with our meeting rooms, if an outside group comes in, we are giving them the option of using the room at full capacity. But for our programs, it is more limited.
Mhm.
But people aren't coming anyway. It's been a little weird, but it's okay.
We've been, for our children's things, like story times that we're doing in person now, they get a ticket at the children's services desk. And then they go into the meeting room, which is like another area. And that's how they've been controlling capacity. Like there's only so many tickets. And then when you get in the room, this is for like a toddler story time, they have those foam mats and the kids are supposed to ideally stay on their mat, but you know, there's always that one that wants to stand right in front of the person doing the story time. But it's worked so far. They've been doing it. This will be our 3rd week. People are pretty understanding.
Yeah, it seems like most people get it, that we're just trying to figure out what's best. Beth put in the chat, does anyone else plan their events the month before? Yikes. If somebody planned an event a month before and wanted me to publish it, I would yell at them. I would say no. Good luck.
Those are usually the people that grovel. They come to you and they're like, hi, Karen. I did a thing. And you're like, it's okay, but please don't keep doing that.
Yeah, right. And don't expect my promotion to make, like, I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I always say I will do everything that I can, right? But I can't work miracles if the program's in 2 weeks and it's not in the newsletter or anything.
Yeah, right. Okay. Unless anyone else has anything else to say about programming.
You know what? I was going to ask one thing. This just was listed on our Facebook group. Oh, sorry, brain froze. Schaumburg, Hollis from Schaumburg, was asking about what you are calling your hybrid programs, if you are in fact doing hybrid programs or preparing for them. We use the phrase in person or virtual because we don't have many. We do 2 or 3 a month at most. But what's everybody else doing? And I can pass that on to her.
Right. In Deerfield, we use the 3 things: in person, virtual, and hybrid. People understand that. Our people, even now, we've opened up our meeting rooms and people are asking me, we'd like to do a hybrid. They're doing the technology, but is that possible? And they're using the term themselves for the meetings. I think that's standard.
Same here. We use hybrid, and I think I actually wrote on the Facebook. I mean, I know I did. I wrote on the Facebook that we say it in the footer of our newsletter. We say hybrid, choose in person or virtual.
We haven't really done a whole lot of hybrid here. We've done either Zoom or in person. So I think we do our board meetings hybrid. So we might get more responses from a survey, and then staff will have to figure it out. You gotta have the right tech, and I guess some staff feel kind of overwhelmed by making sure that works correctly, right? Has anyone felt like hybrid's great, or it's just something we have to do?
It's been okay for only our digital services department is really using it now, and that's for like makerspace things, those kind of more tech-based craft making projects. But they, I mean, the response has been pretty good. Kind of a mix of signups. More people are still choosing virtual, but it's nice for those who want to really see the technology in action and get their thing right away. I want my thing, So.
Yeah. Anybody for here for sure, like this program is going to stay virtual. Like we switched to virtual and it's always going to be virtual now. People love it that way.
You mean, are you asking if our libraries are doing that with particular programs?
Yeah, if there's any, since, going through this, has anyone discovered that, oh yeah, this particular kind of program really works best virtual? And we get, for us, our numbers were huge for virtual. When we're limiting our capacity in our rooms, so we just kept doing them virtual. Even though we were allowing in person, our numbers were going to be so much larger. So there are certain things I think our adult services department will still always have virtual for a while.
I ask, we're not really doing anything virtual, but what kind of programming are you doing that's virtual?
Some of these speakers that the Dan and Raymond movie guys, I feel like they are virtual all the time. Yep. But
we do a lot of history
yes,
or presentations on yeah, what do we have? Bob Newhart.
Actual
That
Bob
kind of
Newhart. Wow.
He is not coming.
Oh. Yeah, we're just having a hard time getting people in, so I'm thinking maybe I should do more virtual, but just needed some ideas for that.
We've had really good luck with gardening workshops virtually. They're being done by like the master gardeners or by McHenry County Conservation Defenders or whatever that group is called. But because those groups are known even outside our own community, we actually sometimes have to cap those. We'll get 350 people signed up. Now, are they 350 Barrington residents? No, but we don't care. You know, it's a free workshop and everybody's welcome to come. So those have went well. We did a few art related things that I thought went really well too. I know there's that Jeff Misher who does the art lectures, but we also did them with like the Holocaust Museum and some other special displays that were at local museums, and people really, really signed up for those in droves too.
Well, these are like groups or people that do it for you, not you guys doing stuff.
Correct, but we do some as well, craft type of things, and
Right.
trying to think of what else.
Because we also don't have much of a budget to pay for people.
Well, Coal City, we actually focus more on the children, and we do a virtual story time each week. And then once a month, we do a virtual kids canvas paint, and then they come pick up their packet with the paints and the, stuff that they need to be able to do the project. And then they do it on Zoom with Miss Renee. So that has been going very well.
That's cool.
Beth, none of your in-person programs would translate to virtual? I mean, what you've already been doing?
Well, since we planned things the month before, it's not me, it's my director. It's okay, she's retiring.
Lots of
let's
cheering
see.
just happened for you, yes.
Yeah. Like we just created a new thing, a new program that we just started last month called Wordle Wednesday. We were trying to get people to come in, play Wordle, other card games, drink coffee. 0 people came. So that was kind of disappointing. Our kid things are kind of going more than like everybody else. It's just the adults trying to get them involved. We did do when the pandemic was kind of in full force, we did the bread monk guy. That was huge. The monk that makes the bread. That was on PBS. I can't think of his name now. But he was very popular.
Yeah, so it can be kind of hit or miss sometimes. That makes me think about how are we, we can't solve everyone's thoughts and feelings about COVID, but how are we communicating, sharing that we're providing a safe place? I know that's been on my mind sometimes. I think our messaging with everything, the list changes. I've seen very formal statements on library websites. I've seen middle of the road. I've seen real casual. I feel like do you feel like something is working that you really like, or I discovered this week, you always got to listen to the complaints. I thought I was doing really good, sending out stuff in e-news and being clear, having it at the top, and come to find out this guy doesn't go in his email. He only goes to our website. So if I put something in e-news, I have to make sure immediately it's on our website. Depending on what it is, I could have a little bit of a lag, like a day. Tomorrow I'll put it on the website, but now, gotta have all those pieces put together. Any thoughts related?
We aren't doing anything. We've taken off all the extra messaging from the top of the website. The only thing we have is we changed our signage that just says masks are recommended for everyone, and that's it. And we have it around, and not as many as before. And it's interesting watching people come in or coming in for meetings. Like we started a memory cafe this month, And most people, when they came in, had their masks on. But once they were in the room and everyone seemed comfortable, they all took their masks off, which for them, it was just easier for them to hear and everything. And you've probably seen, you know, around the building, I haven't tallied it or asked, I'd say probably 75% of the people here that come in the door are wearing their masks. And people seem very careful and respectful for the most part, but that's our only signage, or we don't have anything else going on message wise.
It's so weird because the homepage for me has had the COVID stuff for so long as the big featured box and link, and people still click on it for what it's worth. But I keep thinking, I said to the department heads, are you okay with me removing that now? There's so little really new information there. I don't know what to put there. It's like I'm stuck. I look at it every day and go, okay, Karen, put something else. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm so in this 2-year mindset of having to tell people, well, this is what's going on right now, that I don't know. I don't know what matters enough to go in that spot.
Yeah, I get you, right? Because I had trouble when, you know, the masks are not mandatory. We have a big banner with all the things, you know, safety in the library. It's like, do I keep on there, wash your hands? Do I keep on there, if you're sick, don't come here? So I did keep some of those things, but like you said, it's been up there forever and probably doesn't mean anything to anyone anymore. So maybe it should just be, the signs are, you know, they're not mandatory, or masks, I mean, yeah. Should we take it all down?
We're pretty casual with our signage as well. We just have them on our doors. We don't have any inside the building, but we still do have our service updates on our website. But I think the general idea from management is that we're going to kind of phase it out completely. It's just a quick link at the moment, and masks are optional. Stay home. You can go to the e-library. It's like you can find all that kind of stuff on our website anyway. So yeah, the idea is we're probably going to phase it out in next couple weeks.
We took ours down. I don't know if you all heard about I know they had a protest in Arlington Heights, I think, and then we had one in Park Ridge, right on our lawn, on the library lawn. It's a public place. Use it. Anyway, it went fine. It was like 25 people and a guy waving an American flag, and it was harmless. So when the 28th rolled around, we just made the decision to take out any signs that reference mask wearing because our staff was getting a lot of abuse. In fact, just the other day, was it Wednesday or Tuesday this week, a woman came in and was questioning the staff person that was working at our front desk as to why she was wearing a mask, and was really giving her a hard time. Like, I can't see your face. Can you take your mask off and smile at me? And it was just really very uncomfortable. The woman was like very aggressive with how she was like demanding that the staff person take their mask off. So we just went with the less is better, because just for the sanity of our staff, our community was, so I shouldn't say the whole community, but there were some people still like, we don't want to incite another protest. Like, let's just move it all away. And we're mask optional in all of our digital stuff, like our website and our e-news. It says that we are a mask optional environment, I think is how the director wanted to word it. But there's no signage in the building anywhere. And we changed out the outdoor signs that we have in our parking lot, say, welcome, we're so glad to see you. Yay, that's it.
Wow, that must have been, that's rough.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I live here too. So I was looking out, I came in the Saturday that they had the protest, just to see, and I was like, I almost wanted like binoculars to see if I knew any of the people that were protesting. There's a whole like movement here that we had the other night. It's another topic about our teen loft materials, and we're on to like a new set of drama. It's really fun. It's consuming my week.
Our mini conference next month has to do with crisis communication. So shameless plug there. Maybe you can attend and get some tips. Geez.
Yeah. I'll have some tips by then. Fortunately, our board president has a background in crisis communications, so I've even learned a lot from her. And I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better person to be leading our board right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you need support for that. Wow.
In Coal City, we were pretty much the same too. We've taken everything, all signage down. There's nothing on our website about masks one way or the other. And so like everything's normal.
We have one little odd sign at the desks that say staff may request you wear a mask for interactions longer than 15 minutes. I have yet to hear anything about, I have to ask specifically. I don't know if staff have felt like they need to use it. My suspicion is that they don't. I think management was wanting to show support of staff who feel like and we do have staff who still wear their masks at the desks. So we wanted to at least support them in their, letting them feel safe if they were, sitting there with somebody at a computer and it was longer than 15 minutes. But again, like I don't have any feedback to share whether or not they're using that as I think that would be hard.
We have our staff still wearing masks in public spaces at all times, and they can make the call about when they're in staff spaces if they feel like there's enough distance between themselves and their, we're letting them make that determination. But we are anyone who sets up a one-on-one appointment with digital services right now, we're asking those customers to wear a mask. And I just got an update yesterday that so far people have been really great about it. People have been very accommodating and very, maybe they don't come in with a mask, but they're like, sure, yeah, just get me one. And that's not a problem because they want the help. So we were a little concerned about how that was going to go, but so far it's gone very well.
Well, that's great. It's good to hear.
We had a brouhaha where, somebody sent us a customer sent us a Facebook snapshot of another customer saying they wanted to do at Barrington what had happened at St. Charles. The same group was, kind of rallying. So we had a couple of weekends, so we were a little on edge too. But I think because the governor had announced that he was probably going to drop the mandate soon, I think some of the steam ran out of that, for which we were grateful.
Yeah, we had a weird comment on our Facebook right before, and we were kind of like, okay, well, Monday you can come in and not wear a mask. We didn't say that,
It's the do not engage rule, right? Yeah, we were getting a lot of that in the last couple of weeks, and I was just like, nope, I've got no comment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing my mask for this Zoom meeting. Just kidding. Actually, I'm the notary here too, so I actually wear it when I'm doing notary work, and and if someone's like coughing their brains out, I'll go run and get it. I don't feel ashamed for that. It's my safety.
Right. All right. Anything else anybody's thinking about related to rolling with all these?
Captain, no.
Oh. I don't think I had any other things as an idea to talk about. Talked about.
I have a question, Andrea, for the group.
Judy.
So I know that in McHenry County, I think we have someone here. Leanne, is Huntley and McHenry? I don't know my counties, but had the February Library Lovers Month to get people in the doors and go around, get people more foot traffic, in turn maybe more circulation of physical copies, but more foot traffic. If anyone can report on that. And also it sounded like it was success. I read about, I think it was in the Rails blog, but I was wondering if anyone else is doing anything special. Of course, once we have more in-person programming, foot traffic's going to increase. More meeting room use, foot traffic's going to increase. But is there anything anyone's doing special to bring people in the door?
Yeah, I can share. We have planned some events for April to coordinate with National Library Week. And we got the idea from, I want to say Warrenville Public Library, but I might have that wrong. It was a W library. They did some kind of prize drawing. So we kind of took their idea and copied it. So when anyone comes in, especially because we just finished our renovation as well. So we have that reason, say, hey, come on in if you haven't seen all the new stuff. So we have that in the messaging, you know, come back, we miss you. And every week in April, we're going to pull names. If you do anything, if you check out a book, if you use a computer, if you show your face in our building, you can put your name in an entry. And then every Friday we're going to pull names. And I have 3 gift cards each week. Our friends gave us the money. I'm going to get like $25 gift cards at probably Target or something simple like that. I did not have the bandwidth or the brains to try and find like sponsorship gifts from the, you know, organizations in the community. I was like, can we just get some gift cards, please? So that's kind of how we're pushing it. You know, thanks for enduring our renovation. And if you haven't seen it, come in and you could win a gift card. So that's in the print newsletter, and I'm preparing like, you know, posters and stuff for e-news and the website now. So I can report after April if that helped our door counts. I hope it does. And, you know, we've had to kind of make sure staff are ready for that. You know, sometimes staff are kind of like, well, if the point is to get them in the building, if they download an ebook, can they? And I'm like, yes. Well, if they do this and that, yes. Any reason that they come and talk to you, please give them an entry slip. We don't care. You know, just to have kind of a welcoming atmosphere. And so hopefully that'll do something.
Coal City's doing a library road trip with I think 10 other libraries. And so like we have a little PR, I know it's kind of backwards, but it's a passport. And then in the inside is each of the libraries that's participating. And then we all have our own little stamp. And it's try to encourage people to visit all the libraries to see what we all have to offer. We're doing a video, we have a Facebook page and that, but like we're doing it with Three Rivers and Fossil Ridge, Wilmington, Oswego, and Newark, Seneca, Shorewood, Plainfield. So quite a few libraries and just a nice little way to try to get people in. I don't know how this will work because it's our first time doing it, but we're hoping for the best.
We do that down here, the Illinois Heartland Library System, and there's probably, I think last year they maybe had 20 or 30 libraries, and it was very successful. We gave people little stamps, and then each of the libraries had their own little reward if they turned in their thing. So yeah, I think you guys will do well with that.
Yeah, we each have our own little reward to give out. We're giving out insulated totes, and then you have a big prize basket to each library.
So can you say more about how that relationship worked? Who started that cooperative partnership event?
Lauren Offerman at Three Rivers kind of came up with the idea. We kind of started out with it being like a library crawl, but we all kind of thought the name might be thought of as alcohol instead. So we changed it to library road trip and, you know, kind of did ideas. And so decided what libraries wanted to participate and then how it was going to go. You know, some things were, you know, still kind of trying to work out, but Danny at Three Rivers, I think, is the one doing like a video. She came to all the libraries and did a video so that all of them are included in it. We all, you know, submitted our logos. So we have a teaser video that's coming out like that last week of March right before. And then there's going to be another bigger video with each of the libraries and kind of what we have to offer at all of the libraries. But yeah, Lauren was the spearhead of it all.
Oops, they called ours a crawl.
Well, hopefully you didn't get any complaints then.
No, nobody was disappointed that we didn't have alcohol.
It's a great idea. I mean, I would do it. It sounds fun.
You can do it.
Karen, we're near each other. We're gonna have to Spearhead
I
something.
know. Barrington, of course, has the craziness of being a part of so many different counties. So we can be in everybody's crawl. You just give us a call. No, it's as usual. I always have to get it. I can make that decision, but I've got to make sure it's customer service or whoever is the most impacted by it is also okay with it. But I think they're getting pretty bored up there. They would like to see some more people in the door. I mean, our numbers are going up gradually, but it's going to take a while.
Right, and having to be okay with that. And even helping staff to be okay with that, that it's not our fault, it's not their fault. There's kind of some of that. I'm sure you're all feeling that in some way. COVID. Any other topic come to your mind? You want to talk about social media, email marketing?
We are about to embark on kind of a serious conversation about book marketing because my feelings about it and the sort of readers advisory staff's feelings about it are maybe a little bit different, and tech services has their own opinions. So we're trying to sort of all get on the same page and also just get circulation back up to at least what it was pre-pandemic. Those things tend to be cyclical, like you'll have those years where your library is like, oh, we're over 1 million circs, it's great, and then it ebbs and flows a little bit. But I don't know, does anybody, we've been using Library Aware. We're thinking of switching. We're going with Patron Point. We're already with them and we're just about ready to roll, but we had paid to use their recommends emails instead, but now I'm getting resistance because those are automated book recommendations. They're not hand selected by your librarians and that kind of thing. But I'd just be curious, like if you've ever done a real hard data kind of study at your library on what connects people with books the best. I know what connects them with programming the best at our place. I know it's the e-news, but when it comes to books, it's such a complicated thing because you don't have an endless supply of those titles. So if you send out an email to 1,000 people with the same 6 titles in it, and they all want them, then have you created a monster because now you've got a demand that maybe you can't meet, or you have to buy more copies, and then is that a good use of resources? Anyway, this is all the stuff I talk about with our staff, but I'm just wondering if anybody if there's one brilliant thing you've done recently that gave you a nice little boost in print book circulation.
I think occasionally I've asked, hey, I promoted, Canopy. Did the numbers go up this week? Occasionally I've heard, yeah, a few, so like you said, it's e-news, but we haven't done a really formal. I'd have to actually ask our selectors group. I think they did a diversity audit of our collection recently, but I wasn't a part of that. So I have the results, but again, I don't know there. To your question, really, they haven't talked about how we connect books to what do they want? That's, yeah. You'd have to pay maybe a Google grant thing. Oh, Karen, if you find something, please, you're going to do like a seminar, webinar on that one. And, I kind of shaking my head too, because really that's what we are that's what libraries are. I think when you ask a person, what's the first word you think of when you think of library, they're going to think of books. And so we should have a more solid grasp.
It's one of those really weird things. Like on the one hand, I've heard a lot of marketers say, why aren't you doing more marketing of books? That's what you spend the most on in your budget. But you're absolutely right. When you ask the public, what's a library for? Books is the first thing they're going to say. So I don't know how much more marketing they need. That part of it, they really, really get already. But on the other hand, it is true. We spend a lot of money on books, and Circ is up and down. Obviously, people were checking out more before, but is that because these other services are in competition with us now? These heavily discounted ebook services where they can get access to anything they want 24/7 for a very low monthly cost. Like in Barrington, we don't have maybe some of the financial concerns that other communities might have, where getting the book for free matters more to a person than getting it when they want it, which is a demand we can never meet as a library, really, except for, a few things like our grab and go ebooks or something. But I don't know, it is so complicated. And like with Library Aware, okay, so we've been using that for a couple of years. It replaced an older service that was just so clunky and awful. So the Library Aware emails definitely look better. They have a good open rate. They have a terrible click-through rate. They open them and then nothing happens. And to me, then I don't know why we're bothering. I don't, why create like something that is treated like a static list where people aren't finding something that interests them enough to click on it. But on the other hand, maybe it is helpful. Maybe older people print it out and bring it with them. I don't know. It's all this what if anecdotal type of stuff. Very hard to get numbers on it. But yes, if I come up with anything brilliant, I'll be happy to share it. Unlikely to find any brilliance here, but
we have PagerPoint as well, but I haven't done the reads recommendations. So
what's really helpful is sign up for it at another library, because you'll get an idea. And what's fascinating is once you get past the first one, it's going to vary by customer. Based on what they've seen before versus what they haven't seen before. So several of us at the library have signed up for it through Champaign because they're using it pretty heavily. And it's really fascinating to compare. And we've agreed to be part of Patron Point's beta testing of new features on it, because we don't think it's quite there yet. Like we noticed, for example, in children's picture book lists, you had multiple books from the same series. That's a waste of space. If I'm only giving you 6 book recommendations, there shouldn't be 2 from the same series. There shouldn't be 2 from the same author, I don't think. So little things like that, we're trying to, because Patron Point doesn't program it. It's done through, help me, ProQuest. It's done through ProQuest. So it's like telephone game, we tell them something and they say, well, we can't do that. We'll talk to ProQuest. ProQuest comes back with a question. But anyway, we're going to work really hard to improve the product, because I think that automated book suggestions or media suggestions is something people are very used to getting, right, from Amazon and other providers, but we want them to be of the quality that we want to be associated with.
Yes to all that. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, you can tell I've been on my soapbox all week.
No,
And
you
then
said
another
that
thing.
really well. You really articulated that really well. So thanks.
There is one more thing Coal City is doing for National Library Week, and that's we made scratch offs, which you can get at like the little tabs to put over your logoed prizes. We're just doing logoed prizes, and we find that the men love it. They love, we only do it for adults, of course, but the men will actually do that. Otherwise, they won't even get into any drawings and stuff like that. But, it's just kind of a fun way for them to win a prize, and they feel like they're winning because they're scratching off to see what they get. And then we have a big gift basket for the end of the week drawing.
So it's like a lotto ticket. They can come to the counter and scratch off and get a prize right away.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And I just make them up myself. I do like 10 on a sheet. I use a bond or heavy bond paper and just put like name, phone number, and our library name and what it's for. And then put the prize that it is and cover it up with that little silver tab. They're real cheap and easy to get from Amazon, but they come in rolls, and you just get a roll of them and you can just stick them right on there.
And you're doing it for National Library Week.
Yes, and then actually we have our 35th anniversary as a district coming up in May, and we're I think going to use them for that too. So
that's cool. We use
what type of prizes?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, nope. I'm just curious what type of prizes.
Well, we're doing 24 insulated bags, 24 tumblers, 24 umbrellas, 24 mugs, 24 utility totes. So those are kind of like our bigger prizes. And then like we have chip clips and pens, and we got those jar grippers, and library bags, and a hot and cold pack. So those are the prizes that we're giving out that we have that are logoed.
People love free stuff. Great. All right, well, it's getting close to 12. Any other topics? Anybody wants to throw out a question for the group? Okay, so just a reminder, next month on April 29th is our mini conference about crisis communication. So please go ahead and sign up. You can go on the ILA website, or Tamara sends the lovely e-news and usually has the link in there. So sign up for that. In May, as a group, we are talking about having a discussion related to graphic design. I was thinking that it's been quite a long time since I've heard of a graphics group, networking group get together. And I know some of us do marketing and graphics and everything else all in one job. So, perhaps we can find someone who is maybe outside of the library to come in and talk about some graphic design tips, some standards, maybe some trends. So we're looking into that. So keep your eye out for May's topic. If there's someone that you work with that you feel like would love to sit in, doesn't have to be a marketing person. It could be anybody to join us. And then in June, we will have, this is kind of interesting, a little bit different than what we normally do for roundtables. The Illinois Department of Human Rights is going to give a presentation on cross-cultural communication. And it's going to be a little bit longer style webinar, 90 to 120 minutes. And we have a limited capacity. I think right now it's at 50. If we find that we have a waiting list, maybe they'll be able to do a second webinar. So be looking for that in June if that's something that's interesting to you, or pass it along to your colleagues as well. And then July or August, we're looking at doing a hybrid meeting. I would like to, have it here at Palatine Library, especially since we went through renovation. It would be nice to, see people around a table, and also have it virtually as well for those who maybe are too far away but still want to join us. And then I would do a tour, so maybe it'll be a little bit more casual, like how you doing kind of gathering. So be looking for that. And then also we've talked about switching in the fall to just maybe every other month doing a roundtable instead of monthly, so that we can maybe have a little bit more interesting topics. And sometimes it's hard to figure out what to talk about on a monthly basis. So we figure maybe every other month would be a better frequency for everybody. So that's all we have. Thanks for joining us. A small group is fine, and I love to hear what everybody's doing. And have a good weekend. See you next month.